Hey everybody, welcome back to D&J's Epic Quest. Just Derek here today, here with another Barebones episode for you. Been a little bit since I've had one of these for you, and today we're going to talk about this book here, A Conspiracy of Ravens, written by Stephen Hubbard. I just finished this here a couple nights ago and I'd like to talk about it to you. So, first thing here, like I've done on all these books that I've read, is just read the back description. Once in an age, the precipice of war is never more than the width of a blade away. Now, when the legendary assassin known as the Black Rose has slaughtered Baron Dartus, Gorsha, and all who made up his house, then fled with the nobleman's young daughter, three nations that knew tenuous peace prepare for the brutality of a prolonged conflict. Yet a new and mysterious danger has emerged. The Shrike arrives to offer mercy and vengeance in equal measure to all those with a role to play, bringing cryptic messages from his unnamed master. Underlying his threats is one simple command: retrieve the daughter of Gorsha. Three ravens of Dinat, Selnor, Darrigan, and Martin, are called upon to protect the child, and they seek answers to troubling questions and motivations. Manipulated by their queen, feeling as no more than pawns in the history unfolding around them, they conspire to bring about what they believe is a necessary change to the balance of power. The secrets of their own shadowed past serve to pull at their union, threatening to unmake their pact and leading them to ask one simple question: are their roads too entrenched in darkness to allow for redemption? In a time of growing doom and dread, when the long-lost magic begins to find new footholds, wretches and kings alike maneuver and scheme, as the Codex is inscribed with fell deeds and heroic sacrifices compelled by a conspiracy of ravens. So, Conspiracy of Ravens. This released June 2022, so it's a couple years old. It's got 4.4 rating on Amazon and 4.18 on Goodreads. I don't remember how many ratings each site held, but I don't know that I would quite call it grimdark. It's definitely got its dark moments. Not sure if it's dark fantasy. It's kind of on that border. The story starts off with a gruesome murder of a nobleman and his family, which isn't really a spoiler, as that was written on the back of the book that I just read off in the synopsis there. But there is more to it than that. And to talk further on that would be a spoiler. And all this, all this is like in the first couple chapters. So pick up this book, read it. It's not going to take you very long to figure it out, to find out. But the infamous Black Rose was sent to assassinate him, but things don't go quite right. But you're kind of left wondering who sent the assassin to do this. You have some ideas, and then all those they kind of get turned on their head as the story goes. A lot of mystery to this. Like I said, the Black Rose he's like the most famous assassin in this world, or ravens as they're known, and they operate out of what's called a nest, or imagine I would have likened this to a guild. And I do like the terminology to keep things consistent with the bird theme. I thought that was cool. And there's a hierarchy to the nest and to the ravens as well. So after the assassination, there is one survivor, a little girl named Tesselin. The Black Rose is on the run with her, trying to keep her safe. The world is pretty much shocked and rocked by the news of the deaths of the nobleman, or the Baron, and his family. And there's several nations, several kings that want to extract their revenge. They're not happy at the instability this has caused. They're not happy with the Queen of Dinat. So there's a lot of plotting going on for revenge, backstabbing, and other plans that just don't quite turn out. There is some magic in the world. We don't get a ton of mention of it, but there are a few instances. And what we're seeing is that this magic has been dormant for quite some time, and it's starting to reemerge. And I don't really know if this is good or bad. I'm not really sure how this magic is going to work or work out, but I'm excited to see how that evolves in coming books. The next book, I'm not sure when that's coming out yet. The story itself, it does have a ton of surprises. The plot that I've kind of talked about here just briefly is a pretty high overview. I don't want to give away too much on that. It's not a spoiler to say that there's a murder of a high level official that takes place, and things just kind of spiral from there. People are reeling, trying to figure out what to do, how to react, where things are going to go. But what I can say about this book from getting to know the author a little bit, I did get the chance to sit down with him. It's probably been a couple months now, but have a beer with him and talk to him a little bit, which was really cool. And he signed my book for me, which was also really cool. But this book is an incredibly personal story. There's one particular moment that just about had me in tears. Just again, very emotional. I don't want to speak too much to it because it would ruin the moment if you decide to read this book, which I really think you should do. Yeah, just if you want writing with that emotion, that's what you're going to get with this story. What did I like? I did like the writing. I thought it was excellent. Stephen paints a very clear picture for you with his writing. You've got a massive world with a vast history and lore that you just want to hear and learn more about. And you kind of don't get to in a lot of cases, which is okay. It just leaves the door open for more later. But we hear of events and places, and I'm the type of reader that, okay, you're teasing me with this stuff. Like, give me more. I want more. So we'll see what happens if I get more on these things or not, or if it's just the moments that we get, which is totally fine too. But I felt like I was reading a mixture of Wheel of Time and Game of Thrones. Not quite as dark as Game of Thrones, certainly darker than Wheel of Time. And just the way he writes is what that reminded me of. If you like plot twists, you're going to like this book. There's plenty of them to keep you guessing. If you pay attention, you can probably pick up on a few of these things. As I read and looked back, there was one thing that I noticed. I thought it was the first time, and I would message Stephen back and forth here as I was going through it, but it was this thing that I noticed was not the first time that it occurred. It was just the first time that I caught it. So would it have let me predict what was going to happen in the book? No, but it did lead me to think that there is, I don't know if I would say if there's more to this character or this character isn't exactly what they seem, but I would just say pay attention as you read this book because there are hints to things. And as far as the plot twists, I don't feel like they were overused so that it was like a gimmick or anything like that. There was a number of them, but they were used effectively. What didn't I like? And this is a thing in just like a lot of fantasy books. Like, I want a map. Give me a map. I want to look at where these places are that we're talking about, that we're traveling to. It helps me be immersed, and so it isn't a knock on Stephen's book because I know, like I said, there's others that just don't have them. Hopefully, in the next one, maybe there will be one. I don't know. We'll see. And then the other thing, there's a good number of characters, which is not a bad thing. I feel like they all served a purpose. There were a couple that maybe I just didn't connect with as much as others. Again, I don't think they were written poorly. It's just the characters that I really liked, and the ones that I didn't care about as much were just that. I didn't care about them as much, but it's not like I would skip their chapters or anything like that. At one point or another, all these characters did have me sucked into what was happening. They all had events that kept the pages turning, and I wanted to find out what was going to happen. Some of them just grabbed at me more, and I think that's going to be the case with anybody in just about any book. You're going to have characters that you gravitate towards more. Overall, I would give this book a 4 out of 5, and I would recommend it to you if you want a book that borders, grimdark and dark fantasy. I don't want to give away anything as far as triggers, just because in a way, it kind of is going to ruin things. Obviously, there's murder in this book, there's death, but there's also a lot of compassion. There's a lot of, I think, what's going to be building to a redemption arc. But what really surprised me is that amount of compassion in a book like this. Some other themes would be overcoming grief, dealing with loss. Assassins, if you want like a large open world, then this is going to be right up your alley. But as far as like things that might be a no for somebody, if you're not okay with killing, then this probably isn't the book for you. Again, there's more to it than that I want to say, but I just can't without really ruining it, which with what's done, it is done in a tasteful way. It's not just blatant violence for the sake of violence or anything like that. To me, I think what he's doing is really tying together something that's very personal to him. Again, 4 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend this book. I am hopeful to talk to Stephen here about this book. Obviously, this episode will come out before that, but hopefully next week. It is July 3rd today. I'm hoping my schedule will work out. I can do that next Monday or Tuesday and have that out for you guys as well. But thank you, everybody, for checking out these episodes. I enjoy doing them. Help me out, hit the like button, subscribe, help Justin and I out with everything there. So thank you again for your time and have a great week.